Coming up this week on Ride the Lightning, the Tesla Motors unofficial podcast, I'll be at the Model X launch party on Tuesday. But first, some more Model X seating news. P85D owners get ludicrous. Tesla opens a new factory in Europe and more. We have liftoff. Hey everybody, welcome to Ride the Lightning, the Tesla Motors unofficial podcast. It's episode 9 for September 27th, 2015. My name is Ryan McCaffrey. Thanks for joining me once again. And here we are on the virtual eve of the launch of Model X, finally, after all these years, over 3 of them, in fact. And I received a very welcome email, very welcome and unexpected email this week. I was invited by Tesla through whether they've heard about the show or maybe through my work at IGN reviewing the Model S and the P85D. I'm not sure, but in any case, I appreciate the invite, and I will be there on Tuesday. I'll be bringing my recorder, and my hope is that I'd like to try and talk to some reservation holders, and, you never know. Maybe I can get a minute with Elon. Probably not. Not getting my hopes up. Unlikely, but hey, you never know. It may be too loud in there to get anything good, but my goal in bringing a recorder, my goal is to sort of kind of try to do the show from there if I can. And just, or at the very, very least, bring you, those of you that can't make it, bring you some kind of flavor of what it was like to be in the room. So that is my goal for next week's show. And hey, if you are listening and you are going to be there, which it seems like all the signature reservation holders, of course, as well as all the founders, the founder members, founders cars, it seems like all the SIG reservation holders are invited. So if you're going to be there and you're a listener, track me down. If you see me, please say hello. Would love to meet you and maybe even talk to you for a few minutes on the air here, so we can have a little fun with next week's show, just talking to some actual reservation holders who finally get to see the car in person for the first time. Also, I want to mention that I have a new toll-free voice mailbox number for the show. It's actually easier. It's just been upgraded to be easier for you now. I want to thank Life on Record for that. The new toll-free number, which I'll need to remember to put in the show notes as well so you have it written down, is 1-888-989-TESLA, but the stock version, TSLA. So that's 1-888-989-TSLA, which is 8752. No need to dial any invitation number, mailbox number, anything else. Just dial it up. That's all you need. Though if you're either international or you prefer Skype, you can also dial that same number on Skype or just call the Skype username LifeOnRecord2, the number 2, all put together, all one word. So, while we're talking, in fact, I wanted to go ahead and take a quick phone call before we get to the news. There's a lot of news this week. Elon was off on a European tour, so it was a very busy week. We got a lot of quotes from Elon, a lot going on. But first, a quick phone call from Connor in New York. Connor, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Ryan. This is Connor from New York. I really like the podcast, love all the things you do. My question for your Tesla podcast is, what do you think the Model 3 is going to be like? Is it going to be like mid-size, more of a sedan, sort of like the Model S? Or is it going to go sort of the Model X route and be a crossover SUV style thing? Thanks for hopefully putting me on, and love the show, and good luck to you.
Well, Connor, thank you for the call. We do already know a decent bit, just rough sketch outline-wise, about Model 3. We definitely know it's a sedan. We know that a crossover variant is coming at some point, probably not right at launch. It's likely to be the sedan that launches first, but at some point on the same platform, there will be a Model 3 crossover utility vehicle variant. We know that it's going to have a base range of over 200 miles, EPA rated, so that it's, Elon has said 200 real world miles, which hints at a 220 to 240 EPA rating. And we know that Elon has reiterated time and again, $35,000 base price without any tax incentives. So we'll see about that. Now, as for the rest of what I think the car is going to be, I think at the end of the day, I mean, Elon's also talked extensively about this car he's very much taking aim at the BMW 3 Series. That's whose lunch he is going to try and eat. And I think the Model 3 that I am hoping for and that I am trying to plan and save for over the next few years and have already been trying to plan and save for is the top end version. I want my hope and belief because Elon has said, I mean, the Tesla has to be, the electric cars have to be so much better than their gas engine counterparts, their ICE counterparts, that it's just, there's no question that, of course, for the same money, you know, if you're looking at a BMW 3 versus a Tesla Model 3, you of course are going to take the Model 3. I mean, that's you've seen, that's what Model S is doing now. Model S versus Porsche Panamera, no contest. Model S versus Audi RS7, pretty well no contest as far as the performance, the efficiency, the supercharging, all this stuff. So I expect the same with Model 3, even though the price point is such a huge factor, that $35,000 base price. But my expectation, and also my hope, is that the Model 3 will eventually option up and top out at basically a mini Model S. Do I think the base version of the car is going to have the auto-presenting door handles that the S and X have? No. But do I think that's going to be an option? Yes. Same thing, panoramic roof is already an option on S. I think that will be an option of some sort on the Model 3. I expect the 15-inch. I expect a 15-inch touchscreen to be standard. I think just because the car is going to be 20% smaller overall volume, I doubt they'll use the 17-inch screen. That might take up too much space, since the 3 almost certainly won't be as wide as the S is. I could be wrong, but I suspect it'll probably be around a 15-inch screen. But of course, a performance version and all-wheel drive version. But ultimately, I think you will be able to build a mini Model S with the Model 3, and that's exactly what I am hoping for, and that's what I want out of the car. So we shall see. The answers should start coming much more clearly in March of 2016, if indeed Elon holds to the time frame of March being the reveal event. So we shall see. But Connor, thank you for the call. And again, if you want to dial into the show, call anytime. Toll free, 1-888-989-TSLA. That's 8752. And thanks to Life on Record for upgrading my voicemail box on that. Be right back with the news. There is a lot of it this week. Before I head out to Fremont for the Model X event, let's get to some Model X news. First of all, you'll remember that a few episodes back, I noted that the Tesla website used to say that new reservations for Model X would get their car in the summer of 2016. And then, recently, it had changed to say that a new reservation would deliver in early 2016. That was quite a change. Well, it has now been revised again, and it now says that new reservations can expect delivery in the, quote, second half of 2016. So if you see the car, if you want the car, now is the time to get your name on the list, because it could be, that's sounding to me like probably a 1-year wait from right now. Also, August, on that note, was a record month for Model X reservations with, according to the website Electrek, it is a 1,730 reservations made in August. That is, of course, that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise at all. Of course, the pre-orders, just like in my world, in the video game world, the pre-orders usually spike right before the game comes out when everybody's excited. They're ready to buy it. So, of course, the Model X now finally imminent. No surprise that pre-orders, that reservations are spiking. Forum chatter on the Tesla Motors Club has suggested, apparently via various Tesla store employee inquiries, by the way, that showroom demo cars, I guess as usual with the store employees, they're just not always well informed, but some of us have said October. Some have been told end of the year. But it seems like others have been told early next year. So we don't quite know when demo cars, when you'll be able to actually go to a Tesla store and look at them. But, probably plan on the early part of 2016. And then if it's anything sooner, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Just calibrate your expectations accordingly. I know for me that I'm actually hinging, I'm hanging a dream onto that because my cousin Patrick, who I turned on to Tesla a long time ago, I just started talking about it, and he does well for himself, and he was looking into it, and he actually ended up getting on the Model S reservation list not too long. It's around, I think, Labor Day before the actual deliveries. After the founders' cars had started to go, but before signatures and other production had started. But my cousin Pat has a February 2013 build Model S. He was one of the earlier customers. He's got a VIN, I think, in the 4,000s or so. And he has repeatedly, he's been asking me about Model X, like, oh, what have you seen about it? What have you heard about it? So, and I've kind of like half joked with him, except not really joking at all, that because he's a very tall guy. He has a bad foot, and he kind of, the Model S is not the easiest car for him to get in and out of, and he has 4 big dogs, actually 3 at the moment, 3 big dogs that he puts the dogs in the S, but an X, he's been eyeing the X because it would potentially be easier in his life. It would be a much better quality of life car for him. So I've been telling him, well, hey, you could get the X, and then you make me a nice deal on your S, and that get me in a Tesla sooner. So I'm the sooner that the X gets into the stores, gets into the showrooms, and my cousin Pat in Arizona can go look at it, then I'll know for sure whether this pipe dream I'm clinging to of maybe getting to buy his old S for at a good family discount if it is just a pipe dream, or if there's any chance of it becoming reality. But in any case, yeah, keep an eye out for the cars to start hitting the showrooms, to go look at, touch, sit in sometime in the next few months. But plan on early next year. Now, in other Model X news, the early signature holders are now scrambling after an update to the design studio has added a new seating option all of a sudden. When the design studio first went up for those very first few reservation holders, and of course all the images were posted online, as well they should have been, everybody was excited to see them, it was 3 sort of deluxe seats that all could operate independently, but those 3 chairs made a row together. Well, now the option in the design studio is being given with no price difference. It's simply a choice. Remove the middle seat, and you can have just the 2 seats and what seems like a fairly sizable, just nice empty space there, right in the very middle of the car. So if you've either got no kids or less than 3 kids, this could be a great option. It just opens up a ton of space in the middle of the car. And of course, with that 3rd row folding completely over, there's still the mystery about, not so much the mystery anymore. We talked about last week that the 2nd row is apparently just going to kind of lean forward to create some extra room, but not actually fold completely over. But the 3rd row, the 2-seat 3rd row, definitely folds over. And so if you opt for the 6 seats instead of 7, it could really open up the cargo space for you. So I'm very, very curious to see this. And maybe if I'm lucky, maybe even get to sit in it at the event. Time will tell. I would suspect they'll have, it's a founder's delivery event, but I've got to figure they're going to have cars there in the room I don't know if people will get to sit in them, but at the very least there to look at and get an up close look at. So, also, on that very note, if you are a signature reservation holder and you're just now happen to be hearing about this by chance, some of the earliest SIG holders are reporting that in their communications with Tesla, they've been told that if you opt for the 6-person seating, that the two chairs in the middle row, that these captain's chairs do not swivel, so they don't pivot. They don't like pivot out to when the Falcon Wing door opens. So that is what folks are being told now. Also, I wanted to add one other thing to this. The new design studio photo is an overhead shot that what's interesting about this to me is that it again shows a center console in the X. So indications seem to point to a center console being a standard feature, at least in the SIGs. Yeah, this certainly only applies to the SIGs, so maybe it's going to be a paid-for option on production cars. But the console seems to be happening in the X. So I wonder how folks will feel about that. I mean, it's in my time in the S, I actually love just the negative space, just that big empty valley between the front two seats. But then again, I mean, in my car now and in any car I've ever had, I am a person that keeps my cars like really clean. I don't want anything in my car, like any loose anything. I want it clean at all times. So there's just never any clutter or anything. I wish I could say the same about my office or my desk at work or anything. But so yeah, I like the sort of negative space because it just makes the car feel more open to me. But I know a lot of people do value that space as sort of secure storage capability. So that's another thing that I'll be keeping an eye out for on Tuesday at the event is if there are cars on display, do they all have center consoles? I'll be bringing my camera for sure, and I'll definitely be tweeting pictures. There's no doubt about that. If you're a video game fan of mine, well, obviously you must be some sort of Tesla fan if you're one of my IGN followers. But I'll apologize in advance. I don't need to apologize to this audience for the fact that my Twitter feed on Tuesday night is going to be 100% Tesla. But again, you can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. And I'll be posting, as I'm sure many folks will, but I'm definitely going to be, I've got my iPhone 6 Plus, which has a decent camera on it. Although, God knows what the lighting conditions will be at this event. Could be dark and it could be tough to get a good shot. But in any case, follow me on there if you'd like to see whatever pictures I post up. Moving on, as for the Model S, P85D owners who ordered their car prior to July 17th of this year can now put down a deposit to upgrade their cars to Ludicrous mode, should you so desire. It is a $500 deposit to queue up for a $7,500 upgrade, which is stated to be broken down as $5,000 worth of parts, $2,500 in labor. So $500 down and then another $7,000 when the bill comes due, when the job's done. The upgrades will happen only, upgrades are going to start at the Fremont factory. They're going to start in Fremont over there. So if you want it ASAP but can't get your car up here to the Bay Area, you are going to have to wait a bit longer in the queue for it to roll out to certain service centers. This is sort of going to roll out slowly because obviously this is not a simple thing that they're going to do to your car. Also, it's going to start in Q4, which is now. That's pretty much now. Q4 technically starts in October. So, and this is, last I checked, this is September 27th. So look for that to start soon. So you'll also get a new badge, by the way. It is, as you would guess, P85D, but with it underlined. So you'll get a fresh badge for your car. Now, the one other thing, there's a thread about this, of course, on TMC, and one excellent post pointed out something I hadn't thought of. Before you sign up to do this, you may want to consider checking with your insurance company to see if you would be compensated for the full value of a Ludicrous mode car in the event that your car gets totaled at some point in the future. Because otherwise, this is a whole heck of a lot of money to be spending, and if something goes wrong, the insurance company may be like, hey, that's not how the car was when you bought it and insured it. So do look into that as due diligence. But in any case, jump in line now if you're eager to get your P85D upgraded from insane to ludicrous. Meanwhile, Tesla has opened a new factory in Tilburg in the Netherlands. It's a 50,000 square foot facility that employs 180 workers. It includes an assembly line and a sweet indoor test track that I saw a video of online. Looks really cool. I've seen the one in Fremont. I've been on the factory tour in Fremont, which is pretty awesome too. It's just awesome to see indoor test tracks and then, these silent cars zipping around them. So this plant in the Netherlands will service, of course, the Netherlands, as well as Belgium, France, and Germany. And, think back now, Elon now has long indicated that this was always been part of the plan. I mean, just like, BMW builds X3s in America. Nissan, I believe, builds cars here. I think Honda builds cars here too. But Elon has long indicated that this is part of the plan. He's also mentioned he wants a Tesla factory in China to be able to build cars there for that market. So remember, folks, if there's one thing that we've learned about Elon Musk, it is what? Do not doubt Elon Musk. The guy is not one to be, if he says he's going to do something, he's probably going to get it done. Not necessarily when he says he will. That's Elon's Achilles heel so far, is are meeting deadlines and release dates. But he generally, if he says he's going to do something, he does it. The guy does it. So look for more Tesla factories opening, maybe, who knows about elsewhere in Europe, potentially in China. We shall see. But this is excellent news. More jobs created by Tesla, in this case in the Netherlands, and just more Model S's and X's to serve Europe. Speaking of Belgium, by the way, I mentioned them a minute ago, Tesla sales are up there 70% year on year, according to the aforementioned website Electrek. They're doing some good work this week. The Model S outsold all other battery electric vehicles in Belgium. It also outsold every other plug-in hybrid. I guess they're not such big fans of the Prius plug-in hybrid over there. I see a lot of those here in the Bay Area, the old Prius plug-in hybrid, which, boy, I respect the Prius for what it has done for driving mass market priced fuel efficiency and at least trying to reduce emissions in some capacity. But God, the Prius, I mean, granted, I guess I've only been in a million taxi cabs that are Priuses and Ubers and cabs, basically. God, those cars ride terribly. I could not stand to be in one of those things on a daily basis. But in any case, Model S, killing it over in Belgium. So that is awesome to see. Now, finally this week, while speaking in Germany on his European tour, Elon Musk confirmed that he is in talks with, quote, some auto manufacturers about sharing the supercharger network, something he's mentioned in the past. Here's the actual quote from Elon. "We are actually in talks with some manufacturers doing just that, and it will be exciting to share that news," he said. So again, we gotta remember who we're dealing with, and that's Elon Musk. And this is a guy, literally no one else would do this. In fact, while I'd like to think and hope that everyone at Tesla is on board with Elon's vision, there may very well be high-ranking Tesla folks that somewhere in the back of their head huff and puff because they know that the offer to share the supercharger network is potentially mitigating a massive competitive advantage that Tesla owns. I mean, heck, there may be some of you Tesla owners might scoff at this due to the potential for added wait times at superchargers. But Elon has continually said over the years that the goal of Tesla isn't to build the number one car company in the world, but it's to accelerate the world's transition to electric vehicles. And that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, as long as the supercharging stations can expand capacity in order to meet the demand of potentially sharing, then ultimately that that's going to be just a good thing for the world, for everyone. And, Tesla will win too, in the sense of if I don't know if Tesla will permit adapters or if they'll insist, well, sure, you can use our supercharging network, but you got to use our plug. You got to use our port, in which case the benefit there wouldn't be necessarily licensing per se. It could be. But if everybody is on Tesla's plug, then that means there will be many, many, many more non-Tesla charging stations set up around the country and around the world that use the standard Tesla plug. So that's a good thing for Model S owners. Could ultimately result I gotta start. See, now I gotta get in the habit. I've got to start including Model X owners because as of Tuesday, they will officially exist in the wild on the roads. I wonder, I should make a prediction on next week's show when I think I'm going to see my first one in the wild, not in a Tesla, not near a Tesla store, I probably won't be near Palo Alto, meaning Tesla's Deer Creek headquarters or the factory, but I live and work in San Francisco. I see Model S's daily. In fact, today I had a couple of appointments down on the peninsula in the San Mateo, San Carlos kind of area. So driving down, I must have seen, some days I like to count because again, I've said this on the show before, I'm a mental patient about Tesla, but today I wasn't counting, but I wish I had because I'll bet I easily saw 10 to 12 Model S's today, just driving, just on a back and forth trip, 20 miles down the road. But in any case, what was I saying? Oh, just the plug. Yeah. I was saying, boy, I'm getting really off track this week. Can you tell I'm excited for the Model X thing on Tuesday night? No, I think, next week's show, maybe I'll say, when I'll put down a bet of nothing on when I think I'll see my first X in the wild. But in any case, Elon is talking to manufacturers about sharing the superchargers. So we shall see. Now it's possible that could be a European thing at first, could be US, could be worldwide, but time will tell. But Elon clearly is open to it, and he, from his quote, it will be exciting to share that news. He wants it to happen. It sounds like the holdup is going to be the other automakers swallowing their pride and saying, "Okay, Elon, you win. We'll use your setup. Okay, we'll use your setup." All right, that is it for the news this week. As you can tell, there was plenty going on. Let's get to some plugs right after this, and then I will see everybody. Hopefully, I'll see some of you at the Model X event. But first, again, some plugs right after this. All right, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I remind you, kindly follow me on Twitter, if you feel so inclined, at DMC_Ryan. Tweet me whatever. Comments on the show if you're liking it, not liking it, some suggestions, constructive feedback. If it won't fit in 140 characters, you can always email me. The show email address is teslapodcast@gmail.com. If you're a video game player, give me a look over at my day job, IGN.com. I do a whole bunch of stuff over there. I also have a little fun t-shirt line on the side that just kind of started as a thing I'd been wanting to do for a while. Some fun designs, fun video game and geek-inspired t-shirts over at nerdstyles.com. So take a look there if you'd be so kind. Also, please be sure to subscribe to Dave T's weekly Tesla newsletter, which you can do for free at teslaweekly.com. Finally, if you know someone special with an upcoming birthday, anniversary, graduation, or some other special occasion, you can give them a unique gift of recorded voices from friends and family telling them why they're special. The recordings can be podcasted or put onto a keepsake. Visit my friends at lifeonrecord.com to learn more, and I thank them once more for upgrading me to the premium version of that so that I could use it for the voicemail box on this show. That does it. So again, I look forward to hopefully meeting a few of you over at Fremont at the Model X event on Tuesday. I will do my very best to bring back some kind of flavor, hopefully some sort of direct audio. If I get to talk to a few folks, it's probably all going to depend on how loud it is, how the conditions are in the room. But in any case, one way or the other, I will have a full first-hand account of the Model X Founders Delivery event that is this Tuesday in Fremont at the factory. I can't wait. I look forward to sharing my report with you all on next week's show, which is fitting. It'll be the 10th show. We're into double digits next week. So I look forward to that, and I will see you all next week.